and our president, President Tinubu, we know how they were pals. We know how they take coffees together. But now it's beginning to look like it's a different ball game entirely. And sometimes I wonder where all of this is coming from. But then, what do you think about this kind of dismissed friendship right now?
Okay, thank you very much. And thanks to all the listeners also. Now, there's a saying which politicians have always anchored upon, that in politics, there's no permanent friend, no permanent enemy, but they have permanent interest. I think that this popular saying is life in Nigeria. That's why you would see two friends today, like you see in River State, the people that put their heads together and did a lot of things in River State in 2023. Today, they don't see eye to eye. They don't pass through the same road. You will see them yesterday. They were friends. They came together, fought PDP, fought Jonathan's government until the government collapsed. They came together from all over. Some answered new PDP, some answered new APC. They came together. And then the government collapsed. What was at the center of all is their political interest, political survival. That's what you can always see. And like they also say, politicians think about the next election. From 2023, they started.
You heard it. It's talking about political survival. I think the network, we're having a little bit of a network glitch. But still, talking about the alignment of the 2027 elections. I mean, El-Rufai has clarified about his presidential political ambition in 2027. They said that this will definitely deepen in all of this. And sometimes we wonder how all of this got to play. Mr. Loman, are you there?
Yeah, yes. You. I think you heard there was a call hold.
Okay, we're trying to get. Please go ahead.
Okay. Now, from 2023, politicians started thinking about 2027. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, they are thinking to win the election and not necessarily to give the quality service or leadership the Nigerians would want. So when you look at El-Rufai and the current president romance in the past and how they fall out. If you remember, the point where they fall out was where El-Rufai could not make the list of ministerial nominees.
Yeah.
Other people like Festus
where the Senate screened them.
But the president in one word, the other was able to, manipulate it. So having not been able to, succeed.
I guess, Mr. Loma, can you hear us? Okay, I guess we're having a network glitch there. Let's try to get connected to him. But in a statement for the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, that's talking about Ambassador Umar Damagun, where they will report that he resigned, labeling this as a false and deliberate attempt to mislead the public. Well, also still talking about PDP actions there, report that Diri has rejected South-South PDP Congress organized by Wike. South-South has rejected PDP Congress organized by Wike's camp. Well, the Bayelsa State Governor Diri has dismissed reports of a Congress held in Calabar, stating that the national leadership rejected it and will set a new date. Also, Diri made this known in a PDP State Executive Council SEC meeting at the party secretariat in Egua. I don't know if we have Mr. Loman, are you there?
Should I go on?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'm here.
All right. We're also being joined by Dr. Adetokunbo Pes, who is also a member of the PDP National Presidential Campaign. Dr. Adetokunbo, are you there too?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Mr. Lawman, can you hear me too?
I'm hearing you very well.
All right, you are trying to round up your thought on this. Please quickly round up your thoughts so that we need to also hear from.
I was saying that where we trace the divorce or threatened divorce between former Governor El-Rufai and the current president, possibly was at the time the the former Governor El-Rufai could not make the list of the ministerial screening. He did not succeed in the National Assembly, and he believed that the president had everything it takes to make anybody to succeed in that screening. And I think that was good. And having not succeeded, he felt that the president didn't need him. They thought he did. And I think that was the beginning of where we are today.
All right.
And it may go into the future. However, don't forget, I have started already that in politics, no permanent friend, no permanent foe, permanent interest. So nobody knows where the pendulum will swing tomorrow.
In politics, no permanent friend, no permanent enemy. Well, that's coming from Mr. Lawman in Zewa. Now, let's also we have Dr. Adetokunbo here. But Dr. Adetokunbo, we're talking about the former Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, and then the president. Where do you think things have gone wrong? And we also, like I told you, we're looking at the realignment of the 2027 and where he had some, exciting conversation with El-Rufai. But let me hear your thought before we go there.
I don't know how Mr. El-Rufai ever thought that he would have gotten any real appointment or support from Tinubu, because I remember as far back as 2015 or so, when El-Rufai will come to Lagos State and challenge the governors and the leaders of Lagos State to fight Tinubu and remove Tinubu as their leader, because Tinubu had no vote, no support, nothing in Lagos, and this godfatherism had to end. This is the real relationship between Tinubu and El-Rufai. So when Tinubu became aspirant for president, of course, it was difficult for El-Rufai to support him. But when he saw that Tinubu got his way, then he came on board and expected him to be friends. No, they have been political foes for quite a long time.
Okay, and let's listen to this conversation between the president and El-Rufai back then.
Dear brother, dear brother Nasir,
Hello?
make a promise. We won't let you run away from the country. That's the only way I will leave this podium. Where is the promise? You make the promise.
I promise.
Okay. Thank you.
I promise, even on a part-time basis.
All right. Yes, Dr. Atiku Pers and Mr. Lawman is I mean, you had that frenzy, display between the president and the former governor of Kaduna State. But, I mean, with all of this, what's your reaction, Mr. Lawman?
I said it earlier. I said I'm not surprised that they can be friends today and become enemies tomorrow. They can also be enemies today. The same enemies you are thinking today, before 2027, will come back and align themselves together and realign themselves together and become friends. What is at the heart of politicians is power, how to grab power. You see, when the president was contesting and he was advising his people, he said that power is not served a la carte. The model is to pursue it, grab it, and run away with it. The center of the action is power. Grab the power. And if it requires mending ways with enemies, they will do that. And that's why you see good politicians. They are hardly rigid. Good politicians are hardly rigid. They are very flexible, and they can use anybody as a tool once you make yourself available, and they will want to. And if you also think you are untouchable, and then they will use you, and then at a point in time you think the previous usage is enough, you are making a mistake. If he can no longer use you, he will dump you. That is politics and politicians.
Okay, I mean, that's talking about politics. Yes, don't forget Lagos. We're talking about the realignment, the talk. El-Rufai moving down to the SDP, and also it talks about a measure of different political parties. Well, before I come to Dr. Atiku there, let's listen to El-Rufai on SDP and also what El-Rufai has to say, on the APC.
The crisis that 1990 is facing in the Labour Party is contrived and funded by the government of the day. Everyone knows it. Jumping from one court to another is all designed to distract the party leadership from focusing on their core functions. The same thing is happening in the PDP. Even the NNPP has been targeted for destruction. There are people that have been resourced to go and cause problems in the NNPP. The last thing I read about NNPP was that one faction of the party has expelled Kwankwaso and the sitting governor. When you see things like that, you know it's contrived crisis. Which party sacks a sitting governor?
The only governor they
and the only governor they have. You know it's contrived. I don't have the details. I cannot mention names because I don't have.
Fellow compatriots, yesterday our colleague Jafar Ibrahim Sani, our former commissioner, was abducted on the streets of Kaduna, arraigned before a magistrate without any charges or first information report, and immediately remanded at the Kaduna Correctional Facility or Kaduna Prison. Jafar's only offense is that he has joined the SDP, thereby defecting from the APC. The intolerance of democratic opposition is unacceptable. The Kaduna State government cannot be allowed to continue to misuse the security agencies for this purpose. Let us all stand up and fight for our democracy. Thank you and God bless.
Win any election. Peter Obi is polling 1% in Sokoto, 2% in Katsina, 5% in Kano. That's where the votes are. All states are not equal. The fact that you're doing 70% in Anambra State does not mean somebody doing 10% in Kano is not better than you. Kano is 4 million votes that actually happen. Anambra is what? The number of votes in Anambra is the size of one local government in Kaduna State. So all states are not equal. If you poll states and you make them equal, yes, Peter Obi will sweep the southeastern states. He will do well in South-South. Where else? He's not polling well in Southwest, other than a drop in the ocean in Lagos. He's polling in the Christian enclaves in the north. He's polling well, but how many are they? How many? He Peter Obi cannot win the election. He doesn't have the number of states. He doesn't have 25% in more than, the last time we checked, in more than 16 states. He can't go anywhere. Peter Obi is a Nollywood actor, and that's all he will be. This election is between the APC and the PDP because they have the footprint, they have the spread. Ethnicity and religious bigotry will not take you anywhere. And that's what the Labour Party campaign is about.
All right, now, Dr. Itakumbo Pierce, are you there?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure you heard all of that coming from the former governor of Kaduna State. What's your way? How do you weigh in on all of these conversations?
You say what?
How do you weigh in on all of these conversations? What's your take? What's your reaction to this?
Well, look, first and foremost, let me say to the my co-guests on your program that I don't think that there are no permanent enemies, permanent friends in politics. That is what it should be. That is the theory. In actuality, they are friends and they are foes, and sometimes they never agree. When Tinubu said to El-Rufai, I will not leave this podium until you come on board, it was a trick. At that point in time, Tinubu already knew that that Rufai was his enemy. He had to play a game on him and get him on board. He needed him at that time, but he was not really truthful to him. It was just a trick. But anyway, this idea of SDP and whether they're going to win election or not, everything depends on how they form this alliance within SDP. Oh, by the way, Michael, I was the Lagos State governorship candidate for SDP in 2019. So I debate about how the SDP operates. And
tell us how they operate. Give us a little hint on how they operate. I mean, you were the SDP candidate, just like you said, in 2019. So how did he operate? Now it seems to be like SDP is becoming the new wave.
Yes. SDP in 2019.
Even though you cross-carpeted to the PDP. Well,
I was in PDP, and what happened was after the national convention, where the national chairman emerged, that is Secondus, and I was the spokesperson for Professor Tunde Adeniran, who was running against Secondus. And when Secondus won the election, Wike, his sponsor, his boss, declared war on all of us who ran against him and forced us out of APC, out of PDP. That was 2017, 2018. And Professor Adeniran, who came second in the race for national chairman, and Professor Jerry Gana, who were my leaders, had to leave PDP, and I went with them to SDP. So anyway, the SDP of 2019, I don't think is going to be as strong as this SDP that El-Rufai is putting together.
With the new wave,
the SDP is putting together has a number of formidable northerners now to form the foundation. But if they do it right and get a few people from the south, they may be able to develop a strength that will challenge the status quo. I don't see anybody beating APC, P27. I think PDP is going to win the election because what's going to happen right now in 2027 is this. This is my prediction.
Okay.
Nobody knows tomorrow, but this is my prediction. The same way that Peter Obi took away the votes of PDP with the support of our Igbo members in PDP who went to support Obi in Labour Party and affected us very negatively in the national election, is the same way that CPC members of APC who are leaving APC now for SDP will affect APC. So APC will be greatly weakened in the next election, and the only winner that I can see is the PDP. The SDP will come a distant third, or maybe third, to APC, but APC will come a distant second to PDP. That's the way this is going to shape up in 2027.
All right, Mr. Lorman, I mean, what's your take? SDP coming out like the new wave. What's your take?
Say what?
No, I'm referring to Mr. Lorman, our other guest who's on the show. Mr. Lorman, what's your take?
Yeah, but the internal workings of, in fact, SDP is going to look like the new, the Labour Party of 2023, from what I could gather. They may just take up that shape of Labour Party where they will gain significantly from the influx of some big wigs from PDP, from APC, and even from Labour Party. But then, there is a structure in place that has not allowed opposition to survive. The 2015, can I call it what political mishap, was just that somebody that didn't understand the power game. The power game was the president of Nigeria. So someone like former President Goodluck Jonathan. For now, the Tinubu administration and the APC, they know the power, they know the constitution of Nigeria, and they know what they have, that they control the executive, they control the security, they control the legislature, they control the judiciary, control all the whole control levels. So it doesn't. Nigerian elections are not based on numbers. This is not politics. This is not democracy. If it's based on numbers, then we could be saying, look, if they gather together, the muscle, the pull, the influences, they could gather votes. It's not being decided by votes. That's the challenge we have. If the results is being decided, or if the results are being decided by votes, then this model that is being canvassed here would have been very wonderful.
So what is being decided? How do you decide elections then if it's not votes?
It's been decided by INEC and then ratified by the ultimate adjudicator, the judiciary. I think you are here in Nigeria. You know that. Okay, let me give you an instance. Where INEC in its presence will see that ballot box has been carried, and the person that is submitting a report, the result to you, was not an accredited agent of INEC, and you accept that result when you know that they say the ballot box has been carried. So after they must have gone to the bush and then brought in prepaid or whatever pre-filled forms, INEC will still accept it. And there will be the other time, 2020, there was a technical glitch that distorted the voter. So definitely we are talking about, and there's nothing you can do. At worst, you go to court, and they say ask you to go to court. There is no court.
Well, I disagree in saying that there is no court. We have a Supreme Court.
So there's no court to go to for the purpose of winning the election anyway. There's court, but not for the purpose of turning the presidential election.
Dr. Itokumba, do you agree with that?
I agree with everything that he has said, because we all know that 2023 was a farce. Nobody won that election because INEC just gave it to who they wanted to give it to. INEC gave the elections to Tinubu because Tinubu, we know, has been funding INEC for the last 10 years before the election. But anyway, only 31% of the votes came in before INEC announced. And so that was a very defective election. There was no credibility to it at all. And yes, of course, he's right. We know what happened in Edo, what happened in Ondo. So what they do is tell you to go to court. The only thing that I will amend a little bit in what he has said is that Goodluck Jonathan did not understand the politics of Nigeria. Goodluck Jonathan, I was one of the spokespersons for Goodluck Jonathan, and I can tell you he understood it fully. All of us understood it. The difference is Goodluck Jonathan was a man of character who believed that rule of law is very essential to survival of democracy, and he believed that he did not want these people to declare war on Nigeria. Don't forget what happened. They were threatening. Amici was threatening. Tinubu was threatening. All of these people were saying that if they lost the election, there will be insurrection in Nigeria. There will be war. There will be bloodshed. So when Goodluck Jonathan heard that, he said, as a man of peace, he would not allow this war, this insurrection to happen. He would rather just give up. We told Jonathan all the time that Jega, the INEC chairman, was working against him. But he didn't listen because he believed that Jega would do the right thing. Jega did not do the right thing. So it's not a question of Jonathan not understanding. Jonathan just being a different character who believed in rule of law, a gentleman to the core. Now, what you have is exactly what this gentleman, my co-guest, has described. These are people who don't believe in election. They just believe in grabbing it and running away with it. That's what Tinubu said, and that is their mantra. Is that not what Ganduje, the national chairman, said? They will capture. They're not going to win election. They will capture people. They will capture the election. They will capture the election. And these are criminals who have a criminal record already anyway. We are governed in Nigeria today by criminals. Who put Akpabio as Senate president? Did Akpabio even run for Senate? Akpabio was running for president. When he lost there, he came back. The person who won the Senate, they took it from him and gave it to Akpabio. So INEC took it, gave it to Tinubu. INEC took it, gave it to Akpabio.
They didn't take it from him and give it to him. They were in elections, and his tenure was over. Ahmed Lawan tenure was over as the Senate president.
Same thing happened with Lawan. Same thing happened. So the point is that the people in government now, Akpabio still has a case from when he was governor. He's still in EFCC. I mean, we have never had it so bad. But Nigerians are watching. Nigerians are listening. And my co-guest said it that Tinubu is already planned for 2027. We know. But God will intervene and the people will speak up, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. And this time round, he will not get away with it.
Okay.
But this time round, what will happen with SDP coming into this picture is that he will lose 100% of his support in the North. And then let us see how he can try to rig the election. This last 2023, he got 12 states. Atiku got 12 states. Obi got 12 states. So there should have been a rerun. But in 2027, APC and Tinubu as their candidate will get 6 states. And when it is so obvious that PDP has 20 states.
Well, I can see your permutation there for
states, and SDP has 6 states. Then we will see how we will rig the election.
Dr.
Whether if the Chief Justice is his girlfriend or his sister or not, it doesn't matter anymore.
Dr. I can
2027 is going to be a different ball game.
Well, that's a permutation for Dr. Rito Kumbo there for ahead of the 2027 elections. But Lagos, let's turn the table to you. You can be part of this conversation because 2027, as some of you will say, well, it's still far, but like politicians will definitely say, it's just around the corner. Well, callers, right now, let's talk. 0705 690-0927. Lagos, you can be part of this conversation. 0705-690-0927. Our callers on 0802-502-7711. 0802-502-7711. All the other lines on 0802-978-8003. 0802-978-8003. Don't forget, you can send us your messages via WhatsApp. You can send your messages via WhatsApp on 0705-690-0927. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you
How
calling
are
from?
you?
I'm
How are
fine.
you?
What's your name and where you calling from?
Well, we have Ambassador Musa here calling you from Shagari, Tiganafaja.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah, to me, when politicians speak, yeah, it can, when they say good morning, you need to go out and check if it's real morning. I'm talking about politicians. Look, to me, let me say this clear. One of the best said that the INEC took the election and give it to President Tinubu. And the same person said, capture 12 states for each of the candidates. So, and there should be a rerun. Supposing it was captured and give to somebody, well, that is politician for you. To me, I have enough of these are comments. Between them, let me tell you one thing. Politicians today can be enemy of themselves, and today come together. Look, Daniel Bwala taught so many lessons. When the Bwala go to PDP, say, oh, about this, where is it right now? I mean, your guest now, tomorrow, you can find them at the corridor of power. That's politician for you. So, let them call that. All I know, I'm calling on Nigeria. We should wake up and put politicians where they belong. Where they belong is they cannot have their way anymore. You can't be in power like generally. Someone gonna check. Even if the devil see at the power in Ghana, he cannot do what you do what people want. If Nigeria can come together and put politicians on their toes and not allow any nonsense from them, that way I make it way. If we didn't do that, politicians will continue to have their way and do Thanksgiving. That we don't know what to do at the right time. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Yes, keep your call coming in. Lagos, let's talk. 0802 502 7711. 0802 502 7711. Or 0802 978 8003. 0802 978 8003. Other lines is 0705 690 0927. 0705 690 0927. All right, let me come to Mr. Lerman. Mr. Lerman, who is a public policy analyst. I mean, also a forensic audit expert. I mean, you've had it. How you heard from Mr. Atiku Pierce, his comment there. I mean, and also Lagos. Let me also let you know that during the 2023 elections, I mean, the APC scored about 8,794,000 votes. That's about 36.61%. I mean, the PDP scored 6,984,000 votes. That's about 29.07%. And then the Labour Party scored 6 million votes. 6,101,000, about 25.40%. And then the NNPP scored 1,496,000. That's about 6.23 vote, 6.23%. But now let me come to Mr. Lawman. I mean, El-Rufai, the way it is right now, seems to be shaking up the political train. Do you smell any political tsunami in all of this come 2027?
Come again with that question.
I mean, sir, the El-Rufai seems to be shaking up the political train right now. Do you smell any political tsunami come 2027?
The El-Rufai influence, you cannot dismiss it. You cannot dismiss the El-Rufai influence. Number one, El-Rufai will normally play on a lot of cards. The religious card is there. The regional card is there. And other cards available to him, he can play it. And you cannot dismiss such a person. He's a heavyweight politically. You cannot dismiss that. But then, the most they could do is to have robust opposition at the end of the day. Unless there is a revolution. The revolution that brings up real change. Maybe the government in power will now and then agree to not constitutional amendment. The people have always said that we don't need to amend a document that is fundamentally defective. If we have a document that is upright, a government that is not pro-corruption, a document that is not pro suppression, then we could be thinking about influence of El-Rufai and Obidem and the Atiku them. For now, they can only be at their best robust opposition unless the constitution is changed completely, so that we'll be able to have a level playing ground. What we see is the election of Nigeria is like you, a player, a football player, playing against the referee. The referee that holds the whistle in his mouth, and he is also a player, and you are now playing against him, and then you want to win the match. And meanwhile, whatever thing he blows becomes the goal. In fact, even if the ball enters the throwing area, the corner side, and he said it's goal, it becomes goal. So there's nothing you can do. You have to change the system. We're operating in a system that doesn't give hope to Nigerians. But Nigerians is there for them. After all, when the military was in power, Nigerians put up pressure, and the military had to go. We can still do this and then get Nigerians ready and force these people or compel them to give a level playing ground. If there's no level playing ground, 2027 is already a concluded election, unless there's a level playing ground.
All right, so there's no level playing ground. 2027 is an already concluded election. Well, let me come to you, Dr. Adetokunbo. I mean, just the same, just like as I said earlier on with Mr. Lawman. I mean, El-Rufai, as it is right now, come 2027?
Well, what my co-guest has said is very true. Unless we have a new constitution, the 1999 constitution is a bogus document that has kept us backward since the dispensation of democracy this round. You see, the problem we have is that we have, unfortunately, I'm not as optimistic as you are that we fought the military, now we can fight these civilians. You know, the civilians have a cover. Elected officers at the National Assembly who are not doing the right thing, who are not challenging the system, you have a problem. Once the president has bought the Senate president and giving money and all sorts of goodies to the members of the National Assembly, it is difficult for them to vote. You see, the military, we didn't have to vote. They were not voted in, so we forced them out without a vote. But now that we say we have a vote, it's unfortunate. If we do not have some changes, you see, we don't even have to. I used to think that we need to just throw out this constitution and bring a new one. But even if we have one or two changes, for instance, some of revisions, such as INEC, wherever, and this happened in Ghana some years back. They used to have the same kind of situation we had, where INEC chairman was so powerful. So long as the president is the one appointing INEC chairman and INEC commissioners, we cannot have a credible election coming out of INEC. He who pays the piper calls the tune. And this is the problem we have with INEC. So I'm saying that even if we don't succeed, this is, of course, to the National Assembly members too, and to all Nigerians who want a change, that even while we are waiting for a total overhaul of the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, which is so lopsided, there are many things that need to be changed there, so we need to overhaul it totally. Let us have a change electoral reform, even if we have that now, wherever, so that the election can be credible. Then we will say SDP coming in and PDP contesting and APC, then we can have credible results. But I don't think that in spite of the rot that we have now, where INEC just decides on whoever is going to give the election to, that's happened in 2023. If we face that in terms of revolution, changing ideas, that we just face INEC before 2027, compel INEC to do the right thing, while we are waiting for the law to change, whereby the president does not appoint INEC chairman and commissioners, I think we will have something close to credible results in 2027.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Let's go to social media. Well, okay, hi, Mr. Michael. Good morning. Hi, you're from Lasso. It says the last election was a total write-off. I mean, your guest has technically touched every single thing. I have to say, the deed has already been done. What we should focus on now is how to make the next election better and fair. Okay, okay. Good morning to everyone in the studio. Good morning to you. To be honest with you, 2023 election was a big fraud and slap to all Nigerians because INEC and judiciary was a very big disaster as far as many of us is concerned. My dear friend Tinubu I will never win an election in the country if our vote count. But INEC and the judiciary have the final say, not me and you, okay? APC may hand democracy in Nigeria if not checkmated now. Mayor from Ikontuegbe. All right, yes, keep your message coming in. You can send us a message on WhatsApp 0705 690 0927. That's for WhatsApp 0705 690 0927. Or you can call us on the 0705 6900 927. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, please. This is Ambassador Wuzba again. Just add one or two things. Look, the constitution we are using right now, I see nothing wrong with it. Because if any politician come out and say that you don't like this constitution, it's not favor. Because anybody that favor one of them, they will not to let it be. Because it gives them more power to operate. El-Rufai just bamboos people to get attention. I pity those who the SDP who they allow in. Let's see how it goes. I give them 1 year. Moreover, the solution to this problem, not INEC, not the politician, but it's me and you. Look, as a senior president now, if his constituency, the senatorial, come and say, we don't like what I do, want to recall you. It is possible. Although it's a long processing, but let's give it a try. That's the solution. We, the people, politician cannot be opposition. It is we, ordinary citizens, can give them good opposition. Recall. It's possible. If the senator not do, we can say to recall, but they say, it's not possible. And if it's not possible, let's go the way it is. But I think it's possible. In my lifetime, I will champion it. I will do everything that a senator will recall in this country. Good morning.
All right, thank you very, very much. Well, you can still make your call 0802 502 7711. Yes, call us, and let's talk. We're talking about the realignment of 2027 election. The realignment of 2027 election. A whole lot is coming out of the political scene. Talking about a coalition, talking about the likes of El-Rufai, storming the heat, storming the wave of the political scene. For other lines, 0802 978 8003. 0802 978 8003. All right, former acting national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Hilad Etta, has dismissed the capacity of opposition political powers parties to unseat President Bola Tinubu in 2027. He has said that SDP, PDP, Labour Party, all of them joined together can't defeat APC come 2027. That's coming from the former acting national chairman of the APC, Hilad Etta. What's your take to this comment, Dr. Adetokunbo? Dr. Adetokunbo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'll say, what's your take to this comment coming from the former acting national chairman of the APC, Hilad Etta, who has dismissed the PDP, dismissed the Labour Party, and even dismissed the SDP. That those three, even though they form coalition, cannot defeat APC come 2027. With the wave.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Okay, can you hear me very well?
What did the chairman say?
I said that he said come 2027. PDP, SDP, and the Labour Party, I mean, all joined together, can't defeat the APC in 2027?
I don't see that happening. You know, I don't see that happening.
Okay, maybe we should take more statements from him. Let's listen to him more, and then we'll come to the reaction.
That is a calculation from your newsroom. You know, in 2019, that's a calculation from your newsroom. Now, in 2019, we had Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi on the same ticket, and the same APC defeated these gentlemen. Let me say that in 2023, with all the noise that is in the media today, we lost our election in Kaduna State. In fact, I think we barely had about 27% of the votes in Kaduna State when Malam El-Rufai was in charge of Kaduna State. So there are so many things. And El-Rufai, remember that Malam El-Rufai told us that the reason that he supported Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was that he saw Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the one that was able to win the election. Now, before he joined the bandwagon, because what it meant is that he saw that Asiwaju was going to win the election before he joined the bandwagon. Now, there were people on the ground who made that possible, who made the possibility of an Asiwaju presidency inevitable before he joined the bandwagon. So those people are still there. In fact, we have more of those people in Nigeria today. Now you are talking about the all of them coming together. We actually are praying that they should come together. But you see, wishes are not horses in politics. Okay? Wishes are not horses. Most of them, a lot of them, without having to ask, a lot of them would like to throw their hearts into the presidential elections in 2027. We beg her to believe that they will hardly find a common ground to be able to have a ticket that will face the APC.
All right, Dr. Tokumbo, you headed there. I mean, they might not find a common ground to face the APC.
That is exactly true. They cannot have a common ground. Let me tell you, when I was at the University of Lagos, I used to say that, if all of us come together against APC, we win election. But I was told by a learned professor of history and strategic studies that it can never work. I did not believe him. But when I went to SDP, I saw it. We formed what you call CUPP, Coalition of United Political Parties. We had about 36 political parties in that group. What you have therefore is chaos, okay? Chaos, anarchy. Everybody claiming to be this, to be that, even those who didn't have an office. Their whole office is their suit, their briefcase. They want to be president. So if all these people come together, can you imagine who is going to be the ticket bearer? Who is going to be? They cannot work together. So I've always advised my party, the People's Democratic Party, let us face our problem. Let us resolve our issues. Let us talk to our members who left us, because in fact, we're very strong and we were in power for about 16 years because we were a very formidable party. What happened with APC is simple. You know, it is not a question of people coming together. It's not a question of numbers, it's a question of quality and strategy. What happened to APC was that CPC, that is Buhari's party, Buhari always had about 12 million votes from the north, 12 million votes. And then when ACN joined with about 3 million or 4 million votes, they were able to win the election. That is what happened. So what is going to happen now as we go toward 2027 with the SDP coming on board is that the CPC portion of APC is leaving APC, led by El-Rufai.
Okay.
So that 12 million votes is going to be, maybe they're going to get 3 million of those votes.
All right. Quickly, that's just to say that
will keep this remaining 9 million.
That's just to say that
things are not going to work out for APC, no matter what they do. All these propagandists saying this and that. The only thing is, the key thing is what we've said today. If they don't steal the election, if APC doesn't manipulate INEC and steal the election, grab it and run away with it, APC cannot win in 2027.
All right.
It's simple as that.
Thank you very much.
PDP is straight on board to win that election, especially with SDB coming now and taking away the CPC votes.
Okay, Mr. Lap
made APC what it is.
Mr. Lorman.
Tinubu knows already. That is why he's been fighting to win election in the south.
All right.
That is why he had to do or die in Edo State. In Ondo State.
We're out of time now.
Everywhere there's election in the south. Now they want to disorganize River State.
We're out of time now. We have to go.
Lost their support in the north, they must gain something in the south in preparation for 2027. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Adetokunbo Pierce, a member of the PDP National Presidential Campaign Council, and like I said, a former SDP governorship candidate in the 2019 election. Also, thank you very much, Mr. Lorman Nzewa, a public policy analyst, a forensic audit expert, and a fraud examiner and arbitrator. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Pleasure.
All right, we just hope that things get better come 2027. Dr. Adetokunbo Pierce, thank you very much. Dr. Lorman, Mr. Lorman, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, yes, Lagos, this is where we draw the curtain on the show this morning on Spotlight.